Hello, and welcome to the Kreative Devices Mobile Podcast, a podcast created for all creative devices users to tell their story and to help bring even more creative awareness to the world. Today, we're joined by the one and only Joey Lee. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm good. So, Joey, thanks for taking the time to hop on this video call with me. I greatly appreciate it. I know you've been busy, and we tried to make this happen before.
Yeah, it was just some miscommunication with the time.
Yeah, it's all right. So I'm in New York. Where are you located?
I'm in Corona, California. I've lived here pretty much all my life.
Okay. Cool. Well, Joey, you and I have had some messages exchanged on social media. I know a little bit about you, but for me and for everyone else who's watching who may not know, please tell us who you are, what you do, etc.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in Corona, California all my life. And just sort of coasted through normal kid. And then when I turned 11, we went to a music store. We got a flute for my sister, but we walked out with a pair of sticks for me too. And then from then on, I never stopped drumming. It was always on pillows, and then they finally got me one of those electric sets with all the really quiet rubber stuff because we've always lived in apartments. And yeah, I just kept going up and up from there. I was in all the band programs in high school. I'm 20 now, so I'm still adjusting to adult life. But no, I've just been just pretty much a drummer and musician my whole life.
Awesome. And what got you into drumming? I mean, you talked about how it started, but were there any influences or any particular moment that made you feel like this is what I want to do?
Yeah, I never watched a lot of a lot of drummers will say, I always watch the marching bands or my favorite drummer, John Bonham and all that type of thing. But I never like grew up on that stuff. I liked a lot of bands growing up in the alternative scene, like 3 Days Grace, and I found Get Scared when I was in the 5th grade. And when I got my drum set, I would just play aimlessly along to their songs. I had no idea what I was doing, and bit by bit, I just got better. So I never had any lessons. I just became, I wouldn't call myself a great one, but an okay drummer, and I love to do it.
Okay. Cool. So, what type of music does because I know you're in a band, what type of music does your band make? Were you always making that type of music, and do you see it progressing from that?
Yeah, I've always been it's metalcore, bands like Get Scared, early Black Veil Brides, Motionless in White. But there's a lot of alternative influence in there. 3 Days Grace has been my one of my biggest influences since I was maybe 7 or 8 years old. But my band, yeah, we're a lot of those genres all mixed together. Really great minds in the band alongside me, really great writers and all that type of thing. They're um they're all just so great at what they do, and we work really well together with all the different influences that we have.
Nice. Well, that's a beautiful thing about a band. You have a bunch of different individuals who may share similar interests, but some might have interests that you don't or that someone else doesn't, and you put it all together in a pot and create something incredible.
Exactly, yeah, that's exactly what we've been doing. I joined the band pretty recently. I mean, obviously I'm their drummer, but no, it's just been great since day one. They're a really welcoming crowd, and our fan base too. They're super hype and just so into what we're doing.
Awesome. So, have you played a lot of shows outside of your area, or are you still focusing on locally and you're going to branch out later on?
We've done a lot of local stuff. I'd say the farthest out we went was, I think it was 30 or 40 miles. It was like a 2.5 hour drive, but that was mostly because of traffic. That was a really rough one too, because uh we ended up leaving a little later than we wanted to, and it was supposed to take an hour and 40 to get there, but traffic was insane, and we got there like 20 minutes before we were supposed to hop on, and that was really nerve-wracking, but we made it work. Everything turned out great in that show.
Awesome. Okay. So, as far as the writing process for your band, does everyone get together in the same room and write the music? Do you write parts individually and then share it online and then come together and work on it? How does it work for you guys?
So the way we're doing it now, someone will come to us with a honestly like 80% finished song, and then everyone adds their bits and pieces, and we talk about how to elevate this song that we're doing right now. We're in the process of making an album right now, so that's what's been going on. Someone will bring a song that's almost completely finished, and then we all add to it, and then once that's finished, we send it off to our producer to mix it, make everything pretty, and then that song's ready.
Okay, cool. And you're the guy that's producing this, is he in the same area as you, or you have to travel far to get to him?
So he used to live really close to us. Unfortunately, I never got to meet him, but he moved up to Davis, which is about 6 hours up, I'd say, for business and personal reasons. He moved up there on his own. Um, and he was originally asking us to drive up to Davis to record and write everything with him. And he worked remotely with another band on a single, just one song, and that went really well. So he decided he wanted to give it a shot with us and just try and make the album remotely. So we're in the process of doing that right now, just seeing how it works. But it's a little rough. We're trying to figure out how to do things together because it's his first time doing this remotely with a band as well. So right now, yeah, the process is getting made, and we're trying our best to stay organized. But so far, it's going super well.
Okay. So are you tracking the drums in your space, or you going somewhere else to do it?
Yeah, no, I'm in my own space. I play into my electronic set, and then I have a bunch of for the we'll just water it down, and we'll say I have a lot of technology that can turn it into a really good sounding track, and I send that to our band. And then that gets mixed a little bit, and then that goes up to our producer. So yeah, I'm tracking at
Okay.
home.
Okay. Cool. Cool. And I know you have one of our devices. You have the Notebook Pro 16.
Yes, I
How's that
do. It's
working out
awesome.
for you?
Um, it's I mean, I haven't had any problems with it. I don't know what that was for, but no, it's just been great from the get-go. I just had to download some stuff onto it from my old laptop, and man, just the night and day change, because my old one, it wasn't made for the type of stuff that I do with a laptop, and it was really buffery and really slow all the time, and sometimes it would just crash. I haven't had a single problem like that with the A16. Um, that's just been a great thing, and not for nothing, but I did find the Kreative Devices brand through the drummer 66 Samus. He's been a big influence for a while, and he he showed his off, and he does so much stuff all going through it for his Twitch streams. And I just
Mm,
thought, well, if his can handle all that, it can handle what I plan to do with it. So that's what got me to get one.
nice, nice. Yeah, 66 Samus, awesome guy,
Yeah,
phenomenal drummer. Yeah. All right, it's cool. Yeah, he was happy to get his, and I'm happy that you got one, and it's working out for everyone. That's what this is all about, making sure that musicians and artists from any genre or any type can have a device that can allow them to do whatever it is they need to do.
hundred
So,
percent. Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. All right, so you're working on the album, you're tracking everything remotely, and you're sending it over to your producer. Uh, do you guys have a time frame of when you want to complete everything by?
We know that we want to have a single done by mid to late August. So we're not like rolling out the album all in one. We're gonna release maybe 3 or 4 singles, and then the rest of the album will drop. So it's good for the single that we're in the process of figuring out how to work things, because I mean, that one's not really on a time. It's not a terrible time crunch, but it just has to be done by August, and it's actually supposed to be done within the next week. So there's no real time frame. We just want it done semi quickly. There's no rush really.
Okay, cool. All right. So after this is done, you guys have plans to expand, your touring, go out on the road to different places, or you want to spend more time finishing up the rest of the album? Do you have a time frame to complete the rest of the album?
We try to play shows once or twice a month at the very least, and we're doing that alongside the album production. But once the album's
Mm.
done, it's just going to be shows after shows. I think just try to get as many as possible. And we're in a contest right now to play out in I think it's Central Park in New York, which would be crazy because they'd be sending us this all expenses paid, just travel, bring all your stuff, and you get to play alongside all these other cool bands. It would be a festival, and that would be a dream. But no, it's just trying to finish out the album right now, and then shows.
Awesome. Well, look, man, I hope you get that show at Central Park. Let me know. I'll be there.
Yeah, awesome. I totally will.
Cool, cool. Um, so you're working on the album. Your band. I'm sorry, we didn't mention your band's name. Please tell us the name of your band.
It's called Stonehaven. We're out of Corona, California. Just born and raised, I guess. Yeah, Stonehaven. Super cool band. We
Stone.
have 3 singles out right now.
Nice, nice. So we can find your music on which platforms?
All of it. Yeah, we're through DistroKid, so we get to choose what it's on, and we just chose everything under the sun that we could get our hands on. It's on everything.
Okay, cool, cool. I'm uh, I'm looking forward to hearing this album, especially knowing how it's being made. I want to know. I want to hear, the end result. I'm always curious to hear because anything's possible, right?
Yeah,
And especially with technology today, you can make so many incredible things happen with today's technology. So I'm sure once people hear this, they're gonna say, "Well, man, I want to do that too."
yeah. You'll hear a lot of producers nowadays say when they're on like podcasts or interviews, they say people will send me their demos and I just don't really know what I can do with this because it's just so easy to do everything from home now. And I don't think that they're scared because those producers, they're at like the very top, and they know better than everyone around them. But it's getting really easy to just slap something together at home and it sounds 100%,
Mhm.
like 10 out of 10.
Yeah, yeah. Technology's way more advanced today than it used to be. Awesome. So it might be only a matter of time before you guys decide to start producing your next album.
Yeah, my guitarist, we're all in the same age, around 20 to 23. My guitarist, he's in school right now with audio production. So, yeah, maybe in another year or two, it would just be all us, and I would engineer the drum sounds because I'm not a big producer. I don't have you know the ear for it, and I'm not really well educated. But I know how to get a good drum sound out of a computer, and I know how to engineer really like heavy, punchy, and like meaty drum sounds.
Mhm.
And so that would be my part in it. I would play the parts, and then I would engineer what the drums are going to sound like. Then he mixes everything and puts them together. But right now, it's all our producer doing his magic, and he's amazing.
Nice, nice. All right, awesome. Like I said, I'm definitely looking forward to hearing that. So, aside from the album that you're working on, let's just say the album finally gets released, you guys go on tour. Are there any bands that you would like to go on the road with?
Um, we're not we're not really sure how long it's going to be until a tour, but personally, my number one favorite band, my members are probably tired of me gushing about them, but Get Scared, they've been a number one for most of my life, and they broke up in 2019. They just got back together a couple months ago. That would be a dream because they're just so great to me. And I'm not exactly friends with them, but I'm sort of starting to talk to one of the members, the singer, and he seemed to like me. So we want to see if maybe we could get him featured on something. So if we feature them and then go on the road with them, that would be super cool.
Yeah,
There's another band that most of us really like a lot. I mean, everyone in the metal scene knows them. They're called Killswitch Engage, and they would be they're really nice. They're really welcoming of everyone around them. I think that they would love to have us if they toured.
that would be awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a pretty big band, Killswitch Engaged.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're huge. Yeah, they're one of the they call them like the forefathers of metalcore. They really rounded that sound out.
Well, we're speaking it into existence. You know, it's only a matter of time before it happens. You're gonna see Stonehaven up on stage with these big name bands, and you're going to be, you guys are going to end up being a big name band yourself. Definitely looking forward to it.
Oh, we are too. Yeah, we plan to just keep elevating, keep going up with our music.
Cool, cool. So, as far as elevating, I know you're still working on the first one right now, but have you put any thought into maybe changing styles, or do you want to stay focused on a particular style for at least the first few records?
Um, it's sort of a hard question because as it is right now, our we don't exactly have a genre. We're pretty new, so we're trying to figure out what our sound is, type of thing. So we have in our EP that we released previously this year, one of the songs is pretty different than the other two, and not like an entirely different genre, but it's a very different vibe. So I don't really think that we have a specific genre or style right now. We're just trying to make good music and sort of figuring out where that takes us. But no, down the road we'll definitely like funnel into our own sound, and we're still going to experiment and branch out with different
Mhm.
types of styles. But yeah, just later down the line we'll just keep having good music, I suppose. Just things that make us smile.
Yeah. Well, I personally don't like to be beholden to one specific genre because I like to listen to different things. And I think when you mix genres, you come up with something pretty cool. So it doesn't have to be a complete fusion of different genres. It could just be a crossbreed, but whatever comes out, whatever is inside of you, just don't be afraid to experiment with that. Some people
Yeah,
might like it, and even if some don't, you might be surprised that more people might like it. So
yeah, of course. It's always just trying to mix together what everyone has in their heads and their hearts to just try and make something cool that everyone will love, because that's what it is. It's art, and
mhm,
we just want to bring as many people as we can into it and as many styles as we can to just try and make something, just try and make beauty.
cool, awesome. And going back to your laptop, that logo was pretty cool too.
Yeah,
What is that?
it's just a moth. It was a doodle that I made, I would say, junior year of high school, and for my 18th, I'm not a really like body art type of thing. I have one piercing just because I thought if I'm gonna get one, this is gonna be it. It's just a lip ring. And then my sister told me for my 18th birthday, she said, just whatever you want, let me just get you a tattoo. So I thought, the moth is something that's completely mine. It's not like derived from anything. It's not me ripping off someone else's logo. So I just got that. So that's sort of just
Nice.
been my not brand, but that's my logo, and I have that on my Instagram. It's my profile photo, so I just figured, that'd be good for the laptop and makes it really mine.
Yeah, yeah. I was wondering about that. The guys at the factory, they liked it too. They asked where'd it come from. I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask them. So
Just mine.
yeah, awesome, awesome. So when people saw your laptop with the logo on it, did they say anything? Did you get any questions?
Yeah, they all just said it was super cool, and like, dude, that moth, that's like your brand. That's your mark. So that's really cool for me to know that I have something that's like trademark. That's me, and to have that in the laptop is awesome. And then I would tell them like, go ahead and touch it. It's laser engraved too. They touch it, they'd feel the grooves and like, oh, that's sick, dude. So it's just I don't know. That moth on the laptop I really like how it came out, and I like it a lot.
Awesome. Yeah, it came out really good. We got to get you some accessories to go with it next, man.
Yeah, eventually. I'm just waiting until those crop up where I have the need for them, because right now that cooling pad is more than enough. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else that I'll need quite yet, but I'm sure that I will pretty soon.
Okay. Well, we got laptop sleeves and backpacks and You can put the same moth on a mouse pad and t-shirts and all kinds of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. All right. So we pretty much covered a lot, man. I asked you a whole bunch of questions. Is there anything that you'd like to ask me?
Let's see. Mm, how did Creative Devices start? What sort of brought you on the pathway to getting that done?
The question that everyone wants to know. So, I'm a guitar player,
Oh,
and because I'm a guitar player, when my last band broke up, I didn't want to do music anymore, and everyone bugged me to don't quit, keep going.
yeah.
And I couldn't find musicians. Finding musicians is not as easy as it should be because there's so many
No.
musicians, but it's hard to find. They're hard to find. So people said, "Well, make a solo album." I didn't want to write everything myself. I just wanted to play guitar and that was it. But as I kept playing around and ideas kept coming, I ended up working on these songs, wrote all the parts to them, and I just wanted to record them all. So I put together a little studio setup just for me, and then people would see it and they said, "Oh, that's awesome. You know, can you record my stuff?" And then I'd end up recording their stuff, and then their friends would hear it, and then I'd end up recording their stuff. And then I had to go from one space to a bigger space to a bigger space, blah, 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 blah. As far as the guitar is concerned, though, and this is going to tie in, as a guitar player, I didn't want to carry around an amp because it was just too much to lug around. And digital stuff just didn't have the same sound for me. So I was trying to find an analog pedal board to create, where I'm using a real amp in a pedal format where I can run analog pedals into it and get a natural sound. So I can have my sound in the studio and take it out live and have the same sound anywhere I go.
Of
For me, that
course.
was that was convenient. Like you just can't beat that. So for my studio, I was running custom built desktops that I built, but I ended up going to record a band somewhere, and when I recorded them, I couldn't really mix their stuff there. I had to wait till I came back to the studio, and I didn't like that. I said there has to be a way to be able to have something powerful like a desktop, but portable like a laptop. And that's when I started digging into laptops that have more powerful processors that can rival a desktop. And then I bought one, and then I bought another one later on. And I'm running my studio now off of laptops, and people are seeing me and they're like, "How are you running a studio off of a laptop?" It was unheard of. So I just kept going, and people kept asking me, "Can you help me find a laptop that I can do my music with?" And unfortunately, they were expensive because only gaming laptops had powerful enough processors, but you have to pay all this extra money for the graphics card that you don't need for audio.
Yeah.
So as I kept going, searching, I end up finding manufacturers that basically make the computers for these big name companies. And I was lucky enough to be able to talk to someone who was in a position to hear what I wanted to do, and they liked it, and they said, "Okay, we can do that." And I really wanted them to do it. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to be a part of it. I just wanted someone to make computers for creators. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like specifically for audio at the beginning. And we basically designed the first version of the Notebook Pro 16 that you have. No dedicated graphics card like the one you have also, because it wasn't needed for audio. And a lot of times the drivers would create latency issues. So we built one with everything user upgradable, and it just seemed like the perfect laptop, the perfect desktop replacement laptop for audio production. And after we put that one out, people loved it. And then people said, "Well, what about people that need a dedicated graphics card for high quality video or 3D rendering and all that stuff?" And I'm thinking, well, we just spent all this time trying to avoid a graphics card, and now we have to put a graphics card in a laptop.
Yeah.
So then we came out with the graphics model 16, and then someone said, "These are great. What about a 14? I want something smaller." So we came out with a 14, and that's how this pretty much kept going. Everyone said, "Well, what about this? And what about that? And what about this? And what about that?" And we listen and we try to do what we can. And now we have the different models that we have. That's pretty much how Creative Devices got started.
That's super cool. I always love stories of like, I can't really find anything that's for me, and then you just finagle something yourself and it keeps going up, and then people keep asking for more when you start branching out and giving it to them as well.
Yeah.
And I also really like the, I wouldn't call it a fish, but it looks a lot like a fish. The logo, it's super
Ah, yes.
innovative. It's super cool. I love it so much. It's yeah, it's awesome. And
Thank you.
what was I gonna say? Uh yeah, those stories are always just super cool to me when just I can't find anything, so I'll just do it myself.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned the fish. So this KD logo, when you're using the letters K and D together, they're probably the most difficult letters to place because of how
Right.
they're shaped. And
Yeah.
every iteration of KD together, I did not like the way it looked. So my brother actually made this from scratch. He took the K and took a D, and then we just looked at it and it said it looked ordinary. We need to find a way to make it unique to where no one else has it. So I said I want straight lines and curves on
Mm,
both, which is kind of hard to do. So
yeah.
obviously the D has a straight line and the curve. So the K has the two straight lines, so we curve the back. No one else has that. So if you see this KD, it's only synonymous with Creative Devices. That the KD
Yeah.
can stand by itself and it looks like nothing else. It kind of does resemble a fish, but at the end of the day, the fact that it doesn't look like anything else to me is more important. Now, it will get upgraded over time, but for right now, you know, we're not selling logos, we're selling computers.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
but the fish I think is super cool. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw it, and
Mhm.
seeing it boot up with the laptop and it's all chrome, I just think that's awesome. And
Yes.
I always think when I'm loading a bunch of stuff onto my laptop, I'm like, is this gonna crash it? Is this a little too much? And then I see another post about what someone's doing with theirs, like all these big things that are just, it's just tanking and taking, and I just think, nah, it can handle it. No, the processor is amazing. It's again, I've never had a problem with it. Not even any slowdown or buffering.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, that's what we wanted to do, man. We wanted to make sure that people could have something they could rely on. Uh,
Yeah,
I'm one of those guys where if I wouldn't use it myself, I wouldn't recommend it to someone. And
of
all of
course.
these were
Yeah,
built as if I built them for myself. I designed them as if I designed them for me, knowing that if my picky self can be okay with them, then someone else can be okay with them.
yeah, and I very much am. It's just, it's an amazing laptop.
Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Well, man, that was a good question. If you have any more, I'm open.
Yeah. So, how did you come to? How did you wrap around to being a guitar player? Where did that start?
Ooh, how did that start? So, um, I was always into music and I would run around playing air guitar and I didn't think anything of it. And I just, after a while, the air guitar just kind of made me want to play real guitar, especially watching guitar players play. Um, Slash from Guns N' Roses was the guy that made me want to start playing guitar. He
Yeah,
just he looked so cool when you see him on stage playing that guitar. And I think that's what did it for me. It was just like, I want to look cool like that, you know?
of course.
And
Yeah.
that's, yeah. I was a young kid. I was like, I want to look cool like him. And so I wanted to play guitar. And that's how it started.
Did
Then I
you?
went from, Mhm.
Oh, did you take lessons growing up, or did you just sort of wing it and figure things out, sort of like I did?
Nah, I was a kid. My parents didn't think I was going to take it seriously. My mom wanted to get the guitar. My dad was like, a guitar, he's not going to. But they got me the guitar, and it was basically, here's the guitar. If you actually do something with it, maybe we'll consider lessons. And then to everyone's surprise, basically, I took it seriously. And because I started learning how to play the thing on my own, by the time lessons were on the table, I didn't even want them. One, I liked I don't know, it was fun and exciting to figure it out on my own. Two, I was already jamming with people that took lessons, and I realized that they were so reliant on only the things that they learned, like what key is it in? Oh, I can play this scale over this and that. And I was just like, dude, that's not music. Like,
Yeah,
just listen to what's being played and play what you hear. But then I
of course.
realized that not everyone can do that. So then I thought to myself, if that's what learning is going to do, I don't want that. So that's why I just never took lessons and I just kept going. And for me, it was always as long as I can play what I hear, I'm good.
That's awesome. So how did you like how do you say, how did you sort of figure out what to do with it? Because I know that guitars, I mean, they're a lot trickier than drums. You actually have to play melodies and things together. Did you watch videos of other people playing, or did you just listen to songs and try and mimic it?
So in the beginning, it was all about Slash because I wanted to look as cool as he did. So
Yeah.
I needed a Les Paul, and I was trying to learn the stuff that Guns N' Roses was playing, and because my uncle and I would sit and listen to this music, he kind of got me into all this stuff. So he would listen to this stuff, and I'd listen to it with him. We'd watch videos, and I was like, "Yeah, that's what I want to do." So I learned, I knew all the Guns N' Roses songs. I memorized everything from listening to it over and over again. And I would just play around on the guitar whenever I hit a note. It's like, wait, that note was somewhere in this song. It was the most ridiculous thing, right? But that note is somewhere in the song. And I'd go to a song and I'd hit that note. Then I'd be like, all right, the next note is that. And then I'd have to find where the next note is. Obviously, it took me a very long time.
Yeah.
But from the time I started, it actually wasn't that long because I want to say within 2 years' time, I was playing songs, like playing full songs. And yeah, I was playing full songs within 2 years. And by the third and fourth year, I was jamming with people. So,
That's crazy to me because like I said, drums, you just hit stuff and it sounds good, and even when you're playing live you can play the part pretty differently with fills, and it's still, people will say, oh, that's drums, it sounds awesome. But guitar, it's just, I mean, I've got one here and it's just a lot harder than drums were to get started on, so that's super cool.
I mean, again, I didn't have anything else. So I would literally wake up and I'd play around with the guitar till it was time to go to school. I'd go to school, I'd come home, do what I had to do, and then play around with the guitar until it was time to go to sleep. And that's literally what I did. I played guitar all day, every day. I remember I would even take my guitar to school. When I was in high school, I would take my guitar to school and walk around the building with it, playing in between classes, on the way to school, in between classes, on the way back from school, during lunch. I was never without my guitar when I was still learning. Never without my
That's
guitar, and
awesome.
that's probably why I was able to do what I could do, in the time that I could do it. Now, no one has that kind of time, you know.
Oh
But
yeah, it's crazy.
yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, that's really all it is. It's just if you want something bad enough, you'll make it happen. I remember being so frustrated to the point where I felt like I wanted to break it. But then I
Mm.
took all of that energy and emotion and I fought against it. I decided I refused to let this thing beat me. No matter how angry or frustrated I was, I refused to let this thing beat me. And that's how I got it.
That's a good
If
motto.
yeah, it's true.
um do you get a lot of fans going around when you're playing between class?
Some people would be like, "Oh, there's the guitar guy,"
Yeah.
and I don't know who they are. They don't know who. They only know me from seeing me. I did make a few friends that way, and then there were some people who just would look at me and laugh because they thought I was strange. But you're gonna get that everywhere you go.
Yeah,
Um,
especially with when you're making art.
yeah, it's just, but listen, I don't know what they're doing now.
That's true.
That's yeah. So, but that's how it goes. I made some good friends. Met some other people who played instruments. I started a band when I was in high school. It didn't work out, unfortunately. You're not going to be able to get along with everyone.
Yeah.
I have met some really nice musicians that are very talented, and I've met some very not so nice musicians that are very talented. And unfortunately, one of the band members in that band was not so nice, but he was very talented. Yeah.
Yeah, that always sucks. The ego gets to them, or
Yeah.
just projecting insecurities type of thing. No, I'm very lucky that I never had that with this band that I'm in now. It just like I haven't even had one of them snap or get too frustrated at things. It's always just no, no, no. Give me a few more minutes. Like when we're recording, give me a few more minutes. I just need a little more time on this take, and it's never been like anger quite yet. I mean, hey, maybe one of
Yeah.
these days one of us will get there, but as of right now, it's just love.
Now, listen, recording, I mean, anyone who records understands that you don't always get it in the first take. Sometimes you think you have it, sometimes you didn't get enough sleep, or something's on your mind, or you're not in it that day, and it's unfortunate, but we're human. It happens.
Yeah,
Sometimes you might have to spend 8 takes before you can get it down. So
yeah. We've had that happen in the studio too, where just someone wasn't. They were having a day, and just maybe I can sit this out and come back tomorrow, and then
yeah,
it's like 2 or 3 takes the next day.
exactly, exactly. I've experienced that, being that I was recording different people. I've been through that a few times.
Oh
So
yeah, I'm sure.
yeah, awesome, awesome. But listen, if you're interested in playing guitar, just do it. That's all
Oh
I can
yeah,
say.
yeah, I
Yeah,
am. I just need to set aside more time for it. Is all.
yeah. I have drums. I don't have them set up anymore. I wish I did, but they're in bags and storage, unfortunately. But I used to play them when I had them set up, and drums are not easy, man. It is not easy trying to get all four limbs to be independent.
Yeah, I'd been playing for about 7 years before the left leg gets used the least. I've been playing, yeah, for about 7 before I even started using that as much as I should be. But it's a it's just another thing where you just keep going and eventually it clicks and everything hits at once.
Yeah. So I always tell people I can write better drums than I can actually play. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. And hopefully, next time you'll have some cool guitar stuff.
I mean, I sure hope so. That would be amazing. Again, I just need to set aside more time for it. I do a little bit here and there. I see some improvement definitely, but I got to put more into it is all.
Yeah. I mean, well, everyone's busy. You have your life, you're working on an album, whatever. Everyone has something that they're going through. It's
Yeah.
we're not we're not kids anymore where we didn't have any responsibilities. Now we have stuff we actually have to do. We don't have time to. I wish I had time to sit around and play guitar all day. I
Yeah.
just can't. I can't do it. So, but
Yeah.
I'll make some time for it.
Yeah, I had a job before that just if it wasn't taking all the time I had to play drums, it was taking all the energy, and that was a job I ended up having to let go because it was just like drums have always been my one thing. This is the thing that I love to do, and I want to do it until I can't anymore. And
Mm,
no, that one job I had took it away from me, so I had to switch it up because I know that I got to keep this going for the for
yeah.
the for the life of me.
Well, I feel you 100% on that. The thing is, I can't give this up because I put so much into it, and I didn't do it for me, but I'm at a point where I'm happy that I did it, and I don't want
Yeah,
to stop because I get to meet cool people like you, and learn about what you do, and how our devices have been able to help. And that's what I want to do alongside playing guitar. Now that we've gotten a little bit, we're not big, and we never will be. Who knows? I don't know. But I think we're at a place where I can relax a little, which is what I plan to do later this year. I have a few more things I have to do first, but later this year I want to relax a little bit. And part of my relaxation is going to be playing guitar, not going crazy trying to get back up to speed. I just want to sit there and just enjoy playing it, you know.
Yeah,
I'll practice later on.
yeah. And hey, if you do get big, and hey, I sure hope you do, you'll 100% have earned it.
Thank you. Thank you very
Of
much.
course.
Greatly appreciate that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Listen, I am very grateful again that you took the time to have this video call with me. And I can't wait to hear your music, man.
Oh, hey, I can't wait to push it out for everybody. It's gonna be
Cool.
awesome.
Awesome. So let me know once it's done. I'll add the links to this video. People can always come back and check them out.
Yeah.
Um, we'll put one of your social links down there as well.
Cool. All right. Excited for it.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, man. And we'll talk again.
Of course. Thank you for having me. It was awesome.
All right. Take care, man. Have a good one.
You too. Have a good day.
All right.